The trees are now completely bare here, and it's a funny thing because some days I look up at them and I think, oh, it's just so beautiful, all the different shapes that the branches make. But then other days I look up at them and there's something kind of sad and dreary about them. Nature is all set for its long rest that's coming up this winter, and I'm feeling that same longing for just a little bit of time to take a break and to rest because I'm coming off of my busiest season of the year. Fall is always when I work the hardest, and I am feeling pretty exhausted right now. I had to take a few weeks off from filming videos. I had been doing so good about doing it every week and really enjoying that, but I just was exhausted. And it doesn't help that it's dark by 3:34 and all I want to do is crawl into bed then. My plan was to really take a few weeks, maybe even a month off. But I have actually some big news of something that's going to probably prevent that. But before we get to that, this week I went into New York City, which New York City is only about an hour and 20 minutes from me if there's no traffic. But of course, there's always traffic, so it's usually about 2 hours away. I went with some friends to Madison Square Garden to see a concert. I was excited, as you can see. I have wanted to see this artist for at least 10 years, but he had kind of retired for a bit and then came back out of retirement, and I was so thrilled to be at that concert. It never fails to amaze me how different the energy is in New York City. And how it just feels right when I'm back here in upstate New York. Because I'm feeling so completely depleted energy-wise after such a long season, I've made a list of things that I really want to do in the next couple of months. And I'm really hoping that I follow through with this list because I think that working on some self-care is really important for me right now. One of the things I'm going to be doing is something I don't want to do, but also do want to do, and that is join a gym for the winter. I prefer nature to be my gym, but right now my body is telling me that it just needs some time in a sauna, and the only way for me to make that happen is at a gym. I'm so missing giving Charlie his little green beans from the garden. That had become a little routine that I had. We'd stop at the garden on the way back in from a walk, pick up a green bean, and that would be his treat for coming in. So we've switched back to carrots, which is also another favorite of his. I finally got around to making a batch of fire cider. I was meaning to do it all fall long, but I just was too busy. And so now I'm going to have it. It's unfortunately not going to be ready for another 4 weeks, but come the end of December, I'm going to have something that is great to take as a shot. It's just a great way to kind of boost your body up a bit if you're feeling run down or not well. I prefer to use it as a salad dressing. It's really delicious. This is one of those things for me that you just don't really need a recipe for. I know that there are lots of great recipes online for this, but I prefer to just kind of use what I have on hand, making sure that I've got lots of ginger, lots of garlic, and then lots of the pepper in there. Those seem to be the things that my body responds to best. But I also made sure to throw in some turmeric. Unfortunately, I didn't have any fresh turmeric, but I used powdered. And I find with this kind of a thing, it's just better for me to get it done than for me to try and get it done perfectly. So these jars now get stored in a cool, dark place for 2 to 4 weeks. I like 4 weeks better. And then the liquid gets strained and I'll store it in the refrigerator and mix it with oil and some honey when I use it in salads. Even though I won't be able to actually enjoy the fire cider for a month now, it felt so nice and relaxing to just take a minute to make it for myself. And I know that I'll get so much benefit from it when I'm actually consuming it, but just taking a moment to make it felt really beneficial too. Okay, So we'll see if this ends up working, this setup that I'm trying. I'm sitting at my fire and I just didn't want to get up. And I took pretty much the whole day. I've just been home. Obviously, I did not do my hair or makeup or anything, but it's been a quiet day, which is something that I really, really needed. And right now it's a little after 4, but it's pretty dark outside. And it just feels so good to sit here and light this little fire up and sit here with Charlie. But I have a really big decision to make. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do. And I have to make the decision tomorrow. So by the time this video comes out, I will have made the decision. And my dilemma is I have the option to move into a different house on this same property. So I'm in a cottage. There is another home that will be available that used to be a cottage similar to this one, but it actually burned down and it was rebuilt more like a 4-season house because this is really kind of a summer cottage. So the option of living in a 4-season house is pretty appealing. I think it would be really amazing as far as heating in the winter. I love living in this cottage. Well, I love living in this cottage, but for sure, winter, December through March is a really tough time here. It's very expensive to heat this cottage because it's not really meant to be lived in the winter. So the idea of moving into a home that was actually built for 4 seasons is pretty exciting. But the drawback is it's a little house. It's not really a cottage. And for sure, it can be made into, a cottagey feel. And it's not much bigger than this place. This is a 400 square foot home. That one might be 500 square feet. It's just laid out a bit differently. But yeah, it's the same idea as living in a small space. So I still love that about it. But my big dilemma is I'm really comfy here. I'm really comfy in my little place, and it took me a while to get settled in here, and I like it here. But the pros that would come with moving into the other place are it's a bit more private. It's set off to the side of the property. It has an amazing garden, so much bigger than my little garden. And while I love my little garden, it's not the most private. So the garden with the other house would literally be off on its own. Like I could walk around naked if I wanted. I won't, but I could. It's very private and it goes off right into the woods. So there's a trail that goes around behind this property and you can actually get it right from the little garden with that house. So that would be amazing. I would have so much more room to garden. I could grow probably anything and everything that I wanted to grow. Whereas here I'm limited because I like to have a little bit of space for a table so I can have friends over. But there I could just do so much. So Charlie would be able to have a little space back there. I would be able to have a little space back there. Yeah, so that's really huge. That's really huge. So that's a major pro. The little bit of extra privacy, it's always a nice thing. I would be keeping my same amazing landlords. I have the nice, I don't even know how to describe how nice my landlords are. They're just the nicest people. Even the fact that when she told me that the couple that are in that little cottage or house are leaving, she said, you can take a week to think about it, which that's so nice because she could have just said, you need to tell me now. And so I've been thinking about it all week and weighing the pros and the cons. And the biggest con that I'm feeling right now is just that it's coming at a time when I am exhausted. Like this is the most exhausted I've ever felt, maybe ever, after a fall season, which fall season is always my busiest with photography. And I'm so grateful for it because it makes winter possible when in winter I don't book nearly as much work. So it supports my winter and it's very necessary. So to have a good season is an amazing thing. It's just that now I'm really tired. So that's a huge con because I'm just not feeling the energy needed to move. And then a pro and con is the pro, I get to kind of redo a place and put my own touches, which is another thing that's amazing about my landlords, that they actually want me to do that. That's such a nice thing, and it doesn't always happen. So I get to do that. That's a pro, but it's also a con because I'm tired and don't necessarily want to do it right this second. But I also know myself, I can't just move in to a place that I don't feel good in. Like I won't be able to just live there and then in a few months fix it up. I'm going to have to do it immediately because that's just how I am. So I have to decide tomorrow. I have a lot to think about. And I suppose in the next video, I'll either be saying, yay, I'm staying, or yay, I'm going. I don't know which one. For sure, if I go, I'll have lots to share with you because I'll be, putting my own touches on everything. And that's exciting. So we'll see. But for now, for this evening, I'm going to just sit by my little fire and try and enjoy a calm moment. And try not to stress over the fact that I have this decision to make, because at the end of the day, there's no really wrong decision, I don't think. It's just that I don't always enjoy making decisions or making changes. And as I shared in the last video, I'm already changing what I'm doing career-wise a bit. I'm switching it up, which feels huge to me. So another change could be good or not. We'll see. But I hope that your week has been amazing. And I hope that you have a really awesome weekend coming up. And thank you so much for watching. And thank you for letting me sit here and share this. It's helpful in a strange way to share it with people. So thank you so, so much. I really appreciate you being here. And I wish you a wonderful week.